Hello, third year students. Today we will start with yet another prominent poet of the Romantic era, Percy Bysshe Shelley. We have already covered sessions on older romantics, the first generation, who wrote around the year 1798, which includes Wordsworth, Coleridge, and before that is William Blake. These three are known to be the pioneers of Romantic poetry, and after that we have a set of writers who are known as later or younger romantics, and these are Shelley, John Keats, and Byron. Now, P.B. Shelley's poem Ode to the West Wind is a part of your syllabus, but before we begin with the poem, let us have a brief introduction to Shelley's life and career. So, to begin with, Shelley was born in the year 1792 into an aristocratic, wealthy family, and his father was a member of parliament. For schooling, he was sent to Eton, where he was bullied by his fellow classmates who called him Mad Shelley. And he was called so because at an early age he developed unusual views and attitudes which were not acceptable back then in the 18th century society. So he was termed as mad and bullied for that matter. In the year 1810, Shelley joined University College at Oxford, and it is said that he rarely attended his classes. Instead, he preferred to read his own selection of books. And it was at Oxford that he published his first work, the novel Jastrozi. In 1811, within a year of his joining Oxford, he was expelled from it for writing a pamphlet, The Necessity of Atheism, in which he denied the existence of God and religion, and he criticized God. And this was circulated at university, which caused great trouble for him. So, as a punishment, he was expelled. In the year 1813, he wrote the poem Queen Mab, yet another work criticizing and exposing the evils of society and religion. At this time, he was under the mentoring of William Godwin, who also had some same progressive views like those of Shelley. Later, Shelley also got married to his daughter Mary, who is better known as the author of the novel Frankenstein. He wrote his classic work Prometheus Unbound in Rome during the years 1818 and 1819. In the year 1819 to 1820, at Italy, he produced some of his best lyrical poems, such as The Cloud, To a Skylark, Ozymandias, and Ode to the West Wind, and many others. On the death of his dear friend and fellow poet, John Keats wrote the elegy Adonis. Shelley died at the young age of 29 when his boat drowned in the Gulf of Spezia in a stormy weather. Now, let us discuss him as a poet, his style of writing, and main themes and ideas of his poems. I have listed here some of the features of his poetry. First and foremost, being a romantic poet, he truly believed in the power of nature and used it as a source of prime inspiration for writing. Natural forces and objects are the chief characters of his poems, and they act as a vehicle of new ideas. For example, Ode to the West Wind and Ode to a Skylark. In these two poems, he seeks inspiration from natural objects. Next is lyricism. Lyricism means the quality of being lyrical. It is a gentle and romantic emotion in a poem, and Shelley is considered as one of the supreme lyrical geniuses in the English poetry. He combines deep emotion with deep emotion with musical intensity in his lyrics, such as To a Skylark and Ode to the West Wind. Idealism, and there is idealism in his poems. Idealism in the sense that he wishes to reform reform this imperfect world into a blessed land of freedom, love, and joy. And this glorious transformation he wishes to bring through his poetry. Some of his ideals, and this idealism is combined with his rebellion against authority, with his with his personality of a visionary romantic. From the very early life, Shelley never conformed to society and to its rules. He belonged to a he belonged to a well-to-do family, and his father was a wealthy nobleman, and they had a lot of money. Shelley was also in line to become a baron, but it's a paradox that he did not take that easy route of a privileged life. In fact, he turns into a revolutionary poet. He was one of the most fiery and passionate among the romantics. Wordsworth is probably defined by his intensity and Coleridge by his supernaturalism. Shelley is particularly known for his idealism, for his passion, and for his dreams. And that's the kind of romanticism that we see in him. And he believed that society can be changed through the conscious efforts of individuals who participates, who intervenes into the process of society with a sense of purpose. They can give a kind of shape to an age. So he revolted against all the existing institutions, conventions, and traditions. And lastly, there is a note of melancholy and optimism in his poems, and these two opposite things run side by side through his poetry. There is a note of personal sufferings, a desire for the unattainable. But he is also optimistic about the future of mankind, and his poem Ode to the West Wind ends with the famous saying which goes like, "If winter comes, can spring be far behind?" So these were some of the characteristics of his poetry. Now let us briefly discuss the poem Ode to the West Wind. That will be our focus of study in the further classes. So the poem was composed in the autumn of 1819 in the woods at Florence, Italy. The poem is an ode, and you all must have read Ode to Evening in your first year course. But to remind you again, let me tell you, ode is an address to a particular person or a thing. So this poem is an address to the west wind, to the autumnal west wind. And it is one of those poems in which Shelley stresses upon the role and power of the poet to spread new ideas and bring change. West wind, with its power, here is the vehicle of the change in the natural phenomena, and Shelley wishes to embrace that power in himself so he can bring change. And the poem is divided into 5 sections. It is written in terza rima. Terza rima is an Italian metrical form of writing having 4 tercets. Tercets means a stanza of 3 lines. So it has 4 tercets ending with a rhyming couplet. first three sections describe the wind's effects upon the earth, air, and ocean. In the last two sections, the poet speaks directly to the wind, asking for its power to promote rebirth through his own poetry. And the poem ends on an optimistic note where Shelley puts up a rhetorical question and asks, if winter comes, can spring be far behind? Which is a kind of assurance for good change by the poet. So, students, that's all for the introduction to Shelley and to his poem Ode to the West Wind. And as the students of English literature, it's important to study about the background before we start with any poet or poem. It helps us to understand any piece of work in a better way. Okay, we will take up detailed textual analysis of Ode to the West Wind in the next session. Thank you.